I never expected my quiet life on the outskirts of the city to spiral into something out of a science fiction nightmare. I was just an ordinary software engineer, working late nights, avoiding social interaction, and thinking I understood the limits of reality. That illusion shattered the night they came for me. It began with an invitation, or more accurately, a summons. A small, luminescent spacecraft appeared outside my apartment one evening, hovering silently above the street. I rubbed my eyes, assuming exhaustion had made me hallucinate. But when a beam of pale blue light enveloped me, lifting me effortlessly off the ground, I realized this was no dream. Inside the ship, the atmosphere was cool and fragrant, like walking into a greenhouse full of exotic flowers. Two figures approached me. They were humanoid, but not human. Their skin had an iridescent sheen, shifting colors with every movement. They were identical in every way, twin sisters by appearance, yet there was a subtle difference in the way their eyes reflected emotion. "We have been sent for you," one said in a voice that resonated in my mind rather than my ears. "Do not be afraid. You have been chosen." Chosen? For what? I stammered, my heart racing. "To help repopulate," the other sister said matter-of-factly. "Our species dwindles. Your genetic contribution is required." I blinked, certain this had to be a joke. "Wait, are you serious? You mean, humans, me, to help you breed?" The sisters nodded. "It is essential. You will not be harmed. All is consensual within the parameters of survival." I laughed nervously, trying to mask my fear with humor. "Yeah, right. And I suppose there's a Starbucks on the ship too?" Their expressions didn't change. I realized quickly there was no joke. Not in their world. Middle, the night of discovery. The spacecraft moved with eerie silence, gliding over the city until it reached a planet that seemed to shimmer like liquid metal beneath a violet sky. The landscape was unlike anything I had imagined: enormous crystal forests, rivers of glowing liquid, and towers that pulsed with energy. The sisters guided me through their home, explaining their customs and the dire circumstances of their species. Their people were at the brink of extinction, and they had scoured nearby star systems for compatible genetic donors. Somehow, I had been identified as a match. "We understand this may be overwhelming," the first sister said. "You have the right to refuse. But know that refusal is not expected in human culture. Your species values choice, and you will exercise it." I nodded weakly, still in disbelief. "So, you really need me to do this? Tonight?" "Yes," the second sister replied. "Nightfall is significant. It is when our species bonds most effectively. It will maximize the chances of survival for future generations." My mind raced. This was insane. But then, as the violet sun dipped below the horizon, the sisters' forms began to shimmer more brightly, a soft bioluminescence that filled the room. I realized this was no longer about consent in human terms. They were biologically synchronized with the planet's energy cycles, and nightfall amplified their reproductive readiness. I felt a strange pull, a combination of fear and awe. Their presence was overwhelming, almost hypnotic. And yet, amidst the alien beauty and bizarre purpose, I sensed something profoundly human in their approach. They were gentle, respectful, and almost apologetic for what they were asking. As the evening progressed, they introduced me to the customs of their species. Physical intimacy, they explained, was more than a biological necessity. It was a ritual, a way to share energy, memories, and emotions across generations. Each bond strengthened the community and ensured the survival of their civilization. I was stunned. The process they described was intricate, involving mental synchronization, emotional alignment, and physical compatibility. It wasn't just a one-night encounter, it was a ceremony of connection, designed to imprint the donor's essence into the offspring. The emotional dilemma. Sitting in a crystalline chamber with the twin sisters, I felt the weight of my decision. The responsibility was staggering. One wrong move could endanger me, or worse, the potential life of future generations. Yet, their eyes, luminous and wide, conveyed trust and vulnerability. They were asking me to do something extraordinary, a human impossibility in terms of understanding, yet necessary for their survival. "I need to know you are willing," the first sister said softly, her voice threading through my consciousness. "It is not just biology. You must be emotionally present." I hesitated. The rational part of my brain screamed to escape, to refuse this cosmic obligation. But another part, a deeper, intuitive part, felt the enormity of the moment. Life, survival, connection, these were universal. My fear clashed with a strange sense of duty. Finally, I nodded. I'll do it. But tell me everything. I want to understand fully." Over the next hours, they guided me through their intricate rituals. I learned that their species shared consciousness in subtle ways during intimacy, exchanging fragments of memory, emotion, and even instinctual knowledge. It was overwhelming at first, flashes of alien landscapes, unfamiliar feelings, and strange sensory perceptions, but gradually, I adapted. By nightfall, as their bioluminescent forms intertwined with mine in the ritual chamber, I experienced something I had never known. The process was intimate, yes, but also profoundly enlightening. I felt an awareness of life and survival that transcended human boundaries. And through it all, the sisters were tender, attentive, and synchronized perfectly with my pace. It was exhausting, emotionally and mentally, but by the time the ceremony ended, a new bond had been forged, not just between me and the sisters, but with their species itself. I realized that I had participated in something far larger than myself, the continuation of a civilization. The aftermath. When the ceremony concluded, the sisters rested beside me, their hands lightly touching mine. "You have done more than we could have hoped," the first sister whispered. "You have shared not just your body, but your essence. The offspring will carry both human and alien attributes, a bridge between worlds." I lay back, still processing the enormity of what had occurred. Fear had been replaced with a strange sense of connection, awe, and responsibility. I had been terrified, yes, but I had also participated in something that no human could have imagined. Over the next few days, the sisters continued to care for me, guiding me through their recovery rituals and teaching me more about their culture. I realized that the bond we shared was ongoing, a living connection that transcended distance and even time. Before I returned to Earth, the sisters spoke one last time. "You will be remembered, Maximum. Your contribution ensures our species' survival. You have crossed a line most humans could not even comprehend, and yet you did so willingly." I nodded, overwhelmed. I just hope I did enough." "You did," they said in unison, their voices harmonizing like a choir of crystal chimes. "More than enough. Now, go. Live your life. But know that part of you will remain with us, as part of our future." As the ship lifted off and I returned to my apartment on Earth, I looked up at the night sky, now seeing it differently. Somewhere among the stars, two alien twin sisters carried fragments of me within them. A part of my life, my essence, was embedded in another civilization, ensuring its survival. And I realized that fear, while natural, could be transformed into purpose when faced with the unknown. Ending, a changed perspective. In the weeks that followed, I found it hard to settle back into normal life. Everything felt smaller, more mundane, compared to the vastness of what I had experienced. Yet, there was a strange comfort in knowing that I had done something monumental even if no one on Earth would ever understand. The memory of the twin sisters stayed with me. Their voices, their touch, and the shared consciousness we had experienced remained vivid, like echoes of another world imprinted on my mind. And I found that I was more attuned to the universe, more aware of the fragile threads that connect all life. Sometimes, late at night, I would look at the stars and imagine the lives I had helped create. Children who were part human, part alien, carrying the hope of two worlds within them. And I would smile, knowing that one ordinary man from Earth had helped ensure the survival of a civilization. Life returned to a semblance of normalcy, but I was forever changed. I had faced fear, embraced the unknown, and emerged with a connection that spanned light years. And I realized that sometimes, the greatest adventures and responsibilities come when you are chosen unexpectedly, and the night falls in ways you never could have imagined.